So the thing to remember when you are using markers to color your flower first before you start painting with the water is that you want to get a lot of ink from the marker onto your flower. We want these nice and colorful, so the best way to do that is get as much color as you can. The water is going to smooth out your color because it's going to be kind of bumpy. You're going to see white spaces because it's going to be impossible to get into all those little grooves and all the texture that you made. So you're just going to try to get color around the area as best as you can, and then the water will fill in the rest. So I'm going to start with the middle of the flower. I'm gonna use 2 colors, so you can use more than 1 color. And even though I just got some orange on my petal there, you're gonna try your best to keep the marker in the area where you want it to be. I know it's kind of hard when you have 2 different things touching together and you wanna color them both, but I would leave a little bit of white around there because then the water, when you start painting it, then you can get into those spots a little bit easier with the brush. So I'm gonna color a nice dark line around the flower center, the circle, and then I'm just gonna kind of lightly put some yellow or some orange in the middle and then add some yellow too. It's kind of getting on my marker. The water is what's gonna blend it, so you just kind of wanna get the color there with the marker, but the water, like I said, is gonna really, and maybe you won't even tell if there's 2 colors there. Maybe it'll all just kind of blend together, but that's kind of fun too. If you wanna just color 1 color in the center, you can do that. All right, for the petals, same thing. You can blend more than 1 color together. I think I might use these 3 for the petals. You can make them different colors if you would like. I think I'm just going to, let's see. I'm gonna put some blue towards the center on all of them. And then I'll switch colors. And you see how I'm not getting it into all those grooves. Like I said before, you can't really do that. It's kind of impossible. And yeah, I could probably spend some more time in covering up some more space. But this'll be enough. As long as you have more than a few lines. Yes, you want to get a lot of color on there to blend. But that's going to be plenty like you see here. So I'm gonna see, this is kind of an experiment. I'll see how these blend together on the petals once I add the water. I'm not sure how it's gonna turn out. It's different every time. And I'm trying to go really fast here. You do not have to go this fast. You'll have plenty of time to add color to your flower. And I think I'll end with the pink. And again, the edges, you can try to get some color on there, but the water is gonna get those pretty good too. I'm trying to go really fast here. Do not need to go this fast. You can add more color and get the edges a little bit better than I am. But you'll see how the water does sort of carry that color to the edges. So that looks pretty cool as it is, but we want to cover up some of those white marks. I would like you to paint the water into the center first and then work your way out. So you can see already how those white spots are going away. You're still gonna see a little bit of texture there, but it's just more colorful now. Add some more water. I don't want it to be dripping when I'm gonna get around those edges. Maybe hold it up a little bit more. because we don't want to see any white, or at least try to cover up as much white as you can. So all those little grooves right there where the center meets the petals, I want to get in there with my brush. I don't want it dripping because you can see already how it's starting to sort of bleed into my petals a little bit. That's because the water is kind of spreading to those areas. So you do want to make sure it's not dripping wet. Okay, just like watercolor paints, once you switch colors, now I'm going to the petals, I need to rinse my brush. I have orange on my brush now. You can see there's orange in my water. I don't want it dripping, so I'm just gonna, not tapping my brush, I'm just kind of touching the edge. And I'm gonna go close to the middle there. I'm gonna start where the blue is and kind of work my way to the end and getting those white spaces. You see how that one is covered now? I don't see any white spaces on that petal. Get some more water, just tap the edge, don't want it dripping. Same thing, I'll start there and then I'll paint toward the edge, the tip of the flower, and get the sides. See, it would be, see how mine are kind of light? It would be a little darker if you did color with markers on the edge, and you do have time for that, so if you would like to do that, go for it. I'll let you know when it's time to add water if you hadn't started already, so you're able to finish on time. And if you wanted it to look a little more pink at the end, that's when you would have added some more to the edges. All right, so that's all it is. You just have to be careful about how much water you use so it doesn't bleed into areas you don't want it to, because you can see how the center of my flower is getting a little bit of blue right there. It happens, but just be careful and try to get as much excess water off as you can. And again, try to cut, you gotta pay attention to those edges because they're gonna be seen as well. Get a lot of that water off. And you just go all the way around. Same sort of thing. And then we're gonna double check. We're gonna put our name on the, we're actually gonna have our name on these before we start. So it's not wet when we're trying to flip it over, and put our name on the back. And that's it, your painted flowers without using any actual paint.